Welcome back to Newsfeed PM, the late edition with myself, Naledi Molao. So officials at the Emfuleni Municipality are breathing a sigh of relief after the Pretoria High Court ruled that Eskom should not have attached the municipality's bank accounts. The power utility has taken steps to recover over 8 billion rand in debt for services rendered since 2018. Well, to talk to us about their reaction to this, Emfuleni Municipality spokesperson Makhosonke Sangweni joins us this evening. Makhosonke, a good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us. So, the court in Pretoria giving you some reprieve there. What's the feeling inside the, I suppose, the offices of the officials of Emfuleni Municipality?
Good evening, firstly, to you, Naledi, and your listeners at home, viewers at home.
Yes.
Obviously, as a municipality, we are relieved by this confirmation by the High Court of Pretoria, which is a view we've always held, that the decision by Eskom to attach our bank account was premature, but also not only that, it was unlawful and unconstitutional, as the judgment has explicitly said. So we're very relieved and we're happy, and we hope that moving forward, such will not be repeated, either by Eskom or any other public institution.
So I want to, and we'll get into now the debt relief program, the argument that was put forward in the court, but I'm keen to hear this. In September, when you found out that the accounts of the Emfuleni Municipality were being attached because of this debt to Eskom, since then up until now, how has this impacted on services? I'm just trying to imagine even what that does to when you need to pay municipal staff, for instance. What does that look like?
Look, clearly at that month when this happened, which was premature, as I correctly have said to you, obviously it did disrupt some of the services, and as workers were not paid, I think, for more than 2 weeks to the date we're supposed to receive our salaries. So we really had challenges, and some of the service delivery was interrupted around the municipality. But safe to say that after that or beyond that, we have now gone back to normalcy, and service delivery is back to normal. And out of the discussion with Eskom, including the ministries that were involved, which is Minister of Electricity, Minister of Cocta, and others, we managed to find each other, even though it was late, to correct the situation. Hence, as workers were paid, I think 2 weeks later than that. And then service delivery also resumed optimally in the municipality. But of course, there were many issues that were mentioning just now in the statement. Medical aids were not paid, salaries were not paid. Some of our service providers were not paid that were dealing with critical services like your waste collection and others, just to mention a few. So really, it had a negative impact in the municipality.
I mean, that's a lot of bills not paid, right? And now the crisis being to pay all of that back?
Yeah, no, in terms of the debt, we have obviously during around that time, we have signed what we call a distribution agency agreement, ourselves and Eskom, which means that now we're in partnership and we're going to be all of us responsible for the success and failure in terms of electricity supply in the municipality and the surrounding areas. So what that means? It means that we will be responsible. There will be no pointing out fingers. That is for that reason that we've came to that agreement that part of the money that we're going to raise together in the next 3 years, 10% of what we raise as a revenue every month will go to paying the historic debt, which was 8 billion. It's no longer 8 billion because, as we correctly said, from 2018 to date, our large power users around the area, which are big factories and companies, have been directly paying to Eskom. So obviously the debt has reduced. But we will continue to do that. But at the same time, we will make sure that 90% of that money will obviously be coming to Emfuleni after being aggregated. Obviously, they have had their 10% and we are servicing the current debt as we have always been doing each and every month.
Yeah, and that's, of course, the question I was going to ask you was, and you say you've been paying each and every month, but how did we get to this point? I mean, how do you explain that we get to a point where the country watches as your municipality's accounts are attached, and there's been the fear that this could happen now to other municipalities?
No, out of this ruling, I don't see a possibility of it happening. But let's clarify. The debt, the attachments of our account was not really on the basis that we're not paying. It was on the allegation, which was misinformation, that we, as a Emfuleni, were removed from the National Treasury Debt Relief Program, which is trying to help and cushion all of the municipalities that are obviously in financial crisis in the country. So the allegation was that we are no longer part, we are removed, so we will not benefit out of that, which was not true, as the court has clearly outlined. And that was wrong. And we even insisted even then that there's what you call IGR, because we see Eskom as part of the institutions of government. We should have engaged in that process to verify with National Treasury whether we are there or not. But they insisted on taking these arbitrary actions, which led to this. But fortunately, we are happy with the outcome, as you can see. So indeed, it was a wrong decision for them to have done that. I don't think they will use the same argument with the municipality. But in terms of the debt, we have been servicing the debt. They have been getting money. Obviously, they would not have been getting a sufficient amount as to what they would have projected or they would have expected from us. For reason known to us, unemployment and people who are unable or who don't want to pay for services.
You know, the judge in his ruling, Judge Brenda Neokocha, you know, in the ruling noted that the attachment of accounts caused a significant harm, impacted the municipality's ability to fulfill obligations to creditors and employees, and this is something that you've touched on. Can you be, as a municipality, compensated for that loss from September up until now?
Well, it's an administrative matter that we are going to have to be engaged with Eskom, but what we are happy is that our account now are back with us unconditionally, and we are taking a conversation forward with them, because as I've said to you, we've just signed a distribution agency agreement, so it means that we are working together, although now it's in a formative stage, because we are still busy now establishing what you call work stream groups and committees, so that we can all collectively engage both the staff of Eskom and the staff of the municipality.
Yep.
So in the process, we are going to have to find each other. What is due to us will have to come back to us. What is due to them will have to go back to them. It's important that we maintain that relationship for the success of this partnership that we have signed.
And last question, Mr. Sangweni, who do you point the finger at? And this is what I'm asking, right? We talk about the damage done for the municipality from September up until November. And then, of course, there's the issue of how this has impacted on service delivery. You say the municipality was part of the National Debt Relief Program, Eskom believing that it was not, and hence your accounts being attached. Who do you hold accountable? I mean, is there a particular official that you think, overlooked certain elements here?
No, the problem was not with, as I've said to you, it was not obvious on our part as a municipality, but also it was not because of any person in the National Treasury. We don't know where Eskom got this allegation that were removed from the debt relief program. Maybe they are better placed to clarify that. But for the sake of progress, in the interest of the people of Emfuleni, we don't want to be bickering and pointing fingers. All we will do is to take collective responsibility and make sure that we make this partnership that we have signed and this agreement that we've signed a success. Because it's in the best interest to both of the municipality and Eskom, but also to the Republic of South Africa. But we are all state institutions. We should always learn to work together and not use emotions, especially the peddled information that has no substance and no proof. So we should always be cautious how we interact and deal with each other. We must not treat each other as enemies. Okay,
there you have it. Makhosonke Sangweni, spokesperson for Emfuleni local municipality, feeling vindicated this evening as we talk about how the Pretoria High Court has ruled that the ruling that saw the accounts of the local municipality attached in September due to a debt owed to Eskom was unjustified, and that the municipality is in fact part of the National Debt Relief Program. Mr. Sangweni also saying that he doesn't believe that this is going to be the outcome for other municipalities, perhaps that may find themselves in quite a bit of debt with Eskom.